All right, welcome to Unapologetically Black Male, where we talk about surviving the stigma, standards, and systems. Once again, my name is Dwayne Pate, my co-host, Brother EJ Stewart. Thank you to our sponsor, J. Pope and Associates. And we want to just continue to highlight African-American men and their success story and how they got to where they are today. Listen, we have a special guest for you today. Oh, just, let me get the formalities out there. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know what to do. We're trying to continue to build this. And also, if you know any African-American men who might want to share their story of how they have overcome some stigmas, some standards, and some systems to get to where they are today, please, feel free to reach out to us in the link below. But right now, we have a special guest, Brother Quintel Harcum, and I'm going to turn it over to him so he can give us a little bit about himself and his business that he has started.
Thanks. So I'm Quintel, founder of Good Part and Company. It is a health cafe and juice bar and a healthy lifestyle brand. The juice bar and health cafe is located at 1216 North Charles Street, right in Mount Vernon, like right next to Aloha, just right on the lively strip part, right across the street from Subway and Chipotle. So I was fortunate enough to find that location, and the universe opened up for me and let me land right in a spot that works really well for the juice bar. So yeah, but I was born and raised in Baltimore. I grew up on the east side, so just been holding it down, from there. I went to Lincoln University. Well, I went to Almighty Baltimore City College first. And then I went to Lincoln University, HBCU. Really glad I went there. That wasn't my first choice of college, actually, but I'm really glad I went to Lincoln. I learned a lot of life skills at Lincoln University, so it's forever with me, And then from there, I feel like I skipped a whole lot, but I played basketball. I played high school basketball, so basketball was kind of like my first love, and then maybe fashion right after that, or maybe at the same time. So I was always in the trying to be fresh, like all the rest of the kids around the way. Get the latest Jordans. Way back in the day, we was getting Travel Fox to match our school uniforms and stuff like that. So it was always like just trying to be fresh and just trying to go and hoop. So I was fortunate enough to make the team, play all 4 years. I was the captain my senior year in high school. I didn't play in college though, just intramurals. I knew I was better at books than basketball, so I went where the money took me to.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So after Lincoln, though, when I was at Lincoln, I'm going to start my whole business trajectory, right? So when I was at Lincoln, the guys in Philly, they were doing parties, but so many of them came from like one group in Philly. They all came to Lincoln, kind of like how they say Morgan is high school for, a lot of, is like the next level high school for a lot of high schools here. Lincoln must be like that for Philly. So there's a lot of close-knit social groups from Philly, and those guys was throwing parties in Philly and at Lincoln, right? And so I was like, well, I got a group of homies. I was at Lincoln by myself. None of my friends went to Lincoln with me, but I got friends, at home. I was like, yo, these dudes up here doing this, we might can do the same thing. We didn't do it that summer, but the next year, by the time I graduated, one of my friends took the initiative to start giving events like parties and stuff, right? So we like, yo, let's have a meeting, let's have a group meeting, and everybody get together. Let's start doing this party thing. Because at the time we was graduating, 21, 22, Jay-Z was Black Album was out, stuff like that. So there was a bunch of 30 and over parties, and we weren't 30 yet, but we didn't want to be in a hopper club. So we really had a void to fill, right?
Gotcha.
So we had the group meeting, like, yo, we're gonna start these parties. And we started doing the parties. It was a hit. It was just schoolyard entertainment. So our calling card was Red Maple. We did a whole lot of parties in between there, but somewhere in there, I realized the way we going about this, we started setting the goal like, yo, we doing this good. We following Dame Dash and Jay-Z, like, yo, let's boss up and really like try to get our own club. I was like, all right, we can't do that. But we can't do it if we come out of pocket every time. So I rewrote the business plan in order for us to continue to make money. And that's when I was hustling and doing a little different stuff in college, but that's when I really realized I have a decent grasp of business, right? So we did that, and it was decent for a few years. We did that from 2004 to 2010, and then that closed down because business got bad. It happens sometimes, which that's a stigma in the Black community, right? You can't do business with friends or family. Sometimes they say, right, And sometimes it's difficult to do business with other men too, because everybody has different goals. Not necessarily that they're bad business people, but when you mature to a certain phase, some people just have a different idea where they want to go in life. So, other than people just doing bad business, which is what happened to us, somebody was doing bad business. But that shut down in 2010. I got back into the fashion thing, started a clothing line. All throughout schoolyard, I was self-taught in graphic design, right? Because we was doing all our flyer designs in house. People would call us up and like, yo, can you do some flyers for us? So we would we would outsource. We would be outsourced from other people, rather freelancing basically, right? Me and my other buddy, we were the ones doing the flyers, so we would do some work for some other people, and I was just in the crib getting busy in Photoshop. Like I just felt real comfortable there because I had a bit of a artistic, affinity for the arts or whatever, and I was a little okay at drawing, but I liked doing it better in computer graphics.
Gotcha.
So doing my thing in that, and I just started working on some stuff for a clothing line because I actually started the clothing line when we first started doing the parties. So that kind of all came together, the whole fashion and looking good for parties and stuff like that. And all that was cool. So I got back to the fashion thing since we put that business, went down. Got to the fashion thing and started a clothing line in 2011. In between time, one of my buddies from Lincoln hit me up and told me at FIT, Fashion Institute Technology in New York, they were having these classes, like professional courses, where you don't have to enroll as a student, but you can still get credits like a real student towards a very specific fashion certification. I was already doing graphic design, and they had something for the program I was using. It was called Graphic Design for Fashion. So those same programs you would use to make the flyer designs and logos, they use that to design clothes. And that's how you send it off to the manufacturer, and that's how you make button-up shirts, right? And you change the amount of inches and you draw a diagram so that they can actually, it's called a CAD, right? It's where you see what the actual garment is, right? And then you can basically like fill in the colors here and there. You will show different types of stitches and all that type of stuff. So basically I got formally trained on how to do all that stuff at FIT, and everything else I just learned on my own. So I took that, put that into the clothing line. So now I got some technical know-how. I can hold a conversation at trade shows. I kind of know what I got going on. But it was difficult for me because I wasn't a very extroverted person. And for fashion, you need marketing. You need a marketing budget for one, and you need a marketing platform. And I didn't have much of a marketing platform, but some of the stuff I was making was decent, right? It was getting a little bit of love. But I understood all the behind the scenes. I knew how to build websites. I knew how to edit graphics and photos and stuff to make it look good, but it don't matter how good it look if you don't got enough people looking at it. So I did that for like a few years, up until 2016, and then I kind of shut that down because I wasn't really making any money. I mean, business is about selling things. You still got to make money, and I loved it, but I wasn't making money. It was kind of taxing, and I felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere, right? I was just like kind of treading water or whatever. So I kind of hit my peak in that. I put out some final good pieces, and I was like, I'm gonna let this go. I don't have a problem trying and failing. So I'm gonna just keep trying because I know my goal. I know I'm gonna make something happen. So I was like, all right, cool. Close the chapter, 5 years. All right, good try, Quintel. You can just parlay those skills into something else. So I got back into doing events. So I created at this time, let's say we was in the early 2000s, right? 2004 through 2010. That's right before battle culture and all that VIP stuff and all those types of things. So that kind of dominated the 2010s. And so things started to change where you had things like traveling parties and a lot more creative kind of the cool crowd things. People were doing all these cool events that weren't in clubs. Right. And I understood that a lot, even though I was older than that crowd by this time. I was old enough to be, I was as old as the people who would put those things together. Those people had resources. The crowd would be younger people that's like 30 and younger. So they the cool kids that's like now what we call like hype beasts. They the ones that's kind of running Instagram, getting off all the cool, the Instagram influencers and stuff like that. And I knew I could fit in that lane because of the creative part about it. Me being able to do flyer design and understanding marketing and branding much better by this time with the promotion business, doing nightlife, and doing fashion and kind of putting it together. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make some merch. I'm gonna do these little events, and the events was going. It was going okay. My first event went over really well. The first series of events, they went over well. I kept going, but it was just me. I ain't had the rest of the homies that I had with me in the beginning. So I had to put together another team of people, which it was just me and one other person at the time, and she was helping me. My friend Io, she was helping me. We was just like, trying to just figure out what we was going to do, because Baltimore isn't a really big market, so it's not a lot of different type of Black people. Right, so we weren't necessarily going for the Black crowd. I mean, the mixed crowd. We was going for like the cool inside crowd, but it's just not that many people. People who did come, I will say, are a lot of transplants. People who aren't from Baltimore looking for something cool to do. I think they like what we did because a part of our formula was to have it at places that aren't super familiar or like aren't clubs.
Gotcha.
Because transplants don't really want to go to Baltimore clubs. They don't think it's safe.
Right.
So they would come where we were, and then I would promote on Facebook, because it's different pockets of people on Facebook versus like the in crowd people trying to be, you might text or something like that, right? So that was kind of cool. I learned a lot more about like marketing and stuff through that. And while I was in one of the parties, I was doing a brunch party. While I was in one of the brunch parties, sidebar, well, rewind a little bit. I was, like I said, I was making merch and stuff like that. And so I'm selling t-shirts, and I still was kind of doing my thing. And all along during this time, in 2010, I decided that's when I was going to go. 2011, I went plant-based. So around the time that I'm doing this party, I had like a NutriBullet and stuff I would post it on Snapchat and Instagram, and people would hit me up about recipes. And I'm looking, and I'm like, but my other post was about the t-shirt I just dropped, and ain't nobody hit me about that, but they hit me about my NutriBullet and this spinach, right? And my little kale smoothie. So I was like, you know what, that might be a business opportunity, right? That might got lame, because people kind of know I've been doing this for, at that time, up in like 5 years. So while I'm in the brunch party, mind you, I have a party where I don't even eat the food because I'm plant-based. I don't eat what they serve. I just have drinks and eat potatoes. That's all they got that I can really eat. But it was cool. People really liked the place. And I was having the drink, and I was like, yo, I think I'm about to open a juice bar. I was talking to my homegirl that was hosting at the time. And she was like, that sounds like something you would do. But I ain't had no plan or nothing. I just knew that's what I was about to do. And so I've been working on it since then. Like, I've been working on it since. It's been an idea in my mind since 2007. I always wanted to have my own retail store. I applied for a business loan to have one in Baltimore back in like 2014. I didn't get that loan or anything because it didn't fit this market. Like, I was trying to make it too much like stores in larger markets like DC, New York, maybe, where they had a higher income. And also, I ain't write it as well as I wrote the business plan that I wrote for the juice bar that I have now for Good Part and Company. But all of those experiences added up. I learned marketing and promotion through schoolyard entertainment and doing the parties. Through fashion, I learned design and lifestyle, how to present lifestyle in a particular way. Right. And all along, I was always designing. I always would tell people, like, people talk to me about business. Sometimes I feel, how they say you have like imposter syndrome, like I'm not worthy of this discussion. But because they see me being active, they would come and talk to me about certain stuff. And I'd be like, well, all I can say is I kept doing a thing. And it was always designing. I would design graphics for free. I ain't doing nothing. I might be watching a basketball game. All of a sudden, I get an idea. I'm back in Photoshop. I'm back in Illustrator. I'm making stuff. I just like it. I think it's cool to be able to get the idea out of my head and make it tangible. And then it can go from my computer to a t-shirt or a poster or something like that. Particularly t-shirts. T-shirts are a really great way to get messaging across other than having something on a billboard. See, if somebody's willing to put it on their body, they stand behind it. And you can sell merchandise. You can sell a message. You can sell merchandise with a message faster than you can sell a message without merchandise. Basically, you can't just start a clothing line and then attach to anything unless you got a hell of a budget. But you can sell t-shirts that just say Black Lives Matter, right? It's the message that matters. And I started to really realize that, which when I started my clothing line before, it was called Quell Collections. The IG is still alive for Quell Collections too, so people could check that out. And like, I didn't have any messaging behind it. It just was about the fact that I knew how to make stuff. I knew how to design stuff, right? So I learned all those things, put all those things together, and they all end up being a part of Good Part and Company, for which was that the messaging in that is being healthy, right? That's organic, is no pun, but that's organic and like just it's natural for me. I was living that way anyway, but now I just use that as the platform for marketing, for design, for lifestyle, and then we have our own lifestyle component to it, which is where I think Good Part and Company separates itself from a lot of other juice bars or healthy lifestyle brands. I call it's a health centric lifestyle brand. So if I wasn't selling juice, I can sell anything related to being healthy because I really live it. I can talk about it. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. I can go and sell supplements tomorrow. I can just sell T-shirts that talk about health if I want, right? I can sell anything related to that because that's what I live it, and I can talk about it, and I built a good part around that. So, yeah. So now we passed the whole events and parties and stuff like that. That was called Here Comes the Good Part, because I like to title things in an active manner, right? So here comes the good part. People always you actually say that to your friends when you're talking about a movie, when you're talking about one of your sons, like, yo, when the beat drop, yo, here come the good part right here or something. So people it click, but that's not a good working title, and it damn sure don't look good when you type it out for a design, right? When you're trying to find the right font, it's too much of a sentence. So I was like, I need to do something with this, but I like it, but I can't really work with this. And so Good Part and Company came up because I knew the brand would be, like I said, it's a lifestyle brand. I could sell anything health related through it. So I put and company because it would be more than just whatever the first commodity I'm selling, right? The main product is health. When you go to Good Part and Company, when you come to Charles Street, you leave with a healthy experience. The commodity is just the thing you purchase, whether it's a smoothie or bowl or a vegan cookie or something like that. But you got health when you came by, right? So it's like, all right, we're gonna call it Good Part and Company. Plus, you see a lot of other businesses, they put like and company, right? You see law firms, they put such and such and company on their law firm, and other stuff like that. So I mean, that's what we're doing. So it doesn't have like the normal name you would see at a juice bar. It's not fruit related. It's not about juicy juice such and such, or it's not Q's juice joint, or nothing like that. It sounds like a very formal brand, and that's on purpose. The font is on purpose. It's a very clean, minimal font. It doesn't have like a bunch of curly designs in it. Look like juice drops. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't look like a juice bar brand. But yeah. So Good Part and Company. I had surgery. I had elective surgery on my foot, right? Because I run a lot and was active, so I had a bunion. So I had my bunion removed, and I was just sitting up. I got to be out of work for like 2 months. Yo, and I'm still getting paid. I was like, oh man, this is the life. But I gotta maximize this opportunity. I can't just lay around and watch Netflix all the time. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So that's when I had studied and got my certification for holistic nutrition, and then I just started writing out and building what the business was going to be. So I started studying marketing real heavy because now I know I'm coming into the market. I'm coming into the game where like there's a really good opportunity. The health trend is kicking up across, everybody. Okay. And then I'm like, well, this ain't really lightweight. This ain't just like, I ain't got this t-shirt in my house in a box. You know what I'm saying? I'm really out here. I know I'm not supposed to sell juice out my trunk. So I got to put this thing together well. So what I did was I had pop-ups at my house, like literally in my house. I would juice at my house. I already had juices and stuff like that. And people would always ask me about recipes. So I said, let me put some of the better recipes together and juice at my house. And getting back to the fashion thing, I designed merch around the juice thing. So all the t-shirts was like bright colors and remind you of fruit, like a fruit salad and stuff like that, right? So I did that, and all of the old equipment and tools I had, like rolling racks and shelves and stuff like that I learned how to do merchandising and stuff with, I put that right in my living room. So I set up my living room like a showroom, basically like a little small showroom. And a lot of people came, so it was like proof of concept. Let me see how this juice thing really worked. Do people really believe the kid can come through with some juice, and is something that stick? So they came, they bought juice, they bought t-shirts. They was just really supportive, and I just really, really appreciate it, because a lot of people may know me from doing parties or some other point in my life where I was doing the fashion thing, and then I made a pivot to do this health thing. But anybody that they've known me, like I said, this is 10 years for me now. So for the most part, people know that I'm on the health kick like that. So it really worked. And I was like, all right, cool. So this works. So I was going to go and have a pop-up inside of a storefront. So I was going to rent a storefront and carry my juices over there and try to get busy. But somebody picked up the lease on that storefront. And I was like, well, all right, that don't mean I got to stop here. I just got to figure out what to do next. So I started studying more about how to get into the juice business, how to get into the health food industry, quick service restaurant style stuff like that, but mostly juice stuff. And a lot of juice stuff you learn about first is a juice truck or like a juice stand. And I done been through certain types of business. I'm coming for all of it. I want everything that's due to me. I need all that. I need a storefront. I need to build out the world that I want because I know business enough to know they need all of it. They need all the things. They need all the merch. They need all the color. They need all the design that I've been through. I need to put all of that into place. I can't do that on a truck. The best I can do is wrap the truck. That's light work. I need all of it. So I just said,
Mm-hmm.
we're going for a storefront. And then we'll expand from there. So I ain't spend no time on the juice truck manuals. I ain't go visit nobody farmers market to take notes. I went straight to the juice bars I thought was good. I started taking notes there.
Mm-hmm.
Started studying all the joints out in California. Started looking at because I studied like a lot of retail just off the design tip. So I started studying some of my favorite brands and like a lot of brands. Lifestyle is it's a holistic thing. So like you dress one way, you listen to certain type of music, you eat certain types of food, and that's typically the same type of customer coming through all those places. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, we can put all these things in one place, and there are models of it that this actually works. Different retail concepts that have food included, or restaurant concepts that have fashion included. So it's like I think that can work. I might have to ease it in there a little bit, but we going for it. So I wrote a business plan because I knew I needed money, and I know that uh, juice is a valuing business. You have to sell a lot to make money. I can't just
Mm-hmm.
sell a few. Like you might make 3 times the amount on a T-shirt that you paid for it. Not with the juice. Even if it's 3 times the amount you pay for it to make a juice, you ain't making multiple dollars off of that. So
Right.
gotta sell a lot. So I was like, I need a storefront where I can do whatever I need to do and do what I want to do to get all this juice off and offer other items because I wasn't going to be delivering. I knew I wasn't going to start the business as a delivery business or like, there's some juice
Mm-hmm.
brands where you can sell, uh, you can ship. A lot of people ask, do I ship? I don't ship. That's not my business model. So I was like, I know I'm not going to be able to do that. So I need this storefront. So I just went back to the old business plan I wrote for that store. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I see what I didn't do well. Even they didn't get, I did hit them up when they denied it back in 2014 and asked them some of the things I did wrong. So I went
Mm-hmm.
back and looked at it and I was like, you know what, this part right here wasn't that thorough. And if you asking for somebody money, they need to see everything that you're going to do to
Mm-hmm.
bring their money back. So that's what I did in that business plan. So I just studied a lot, did a lot of research, figure out, like I said, the health trend is picking up all across the nation. So I'm showing them proof of concept. Like I told them I wrote about what I did, but I also talked about Jamba Juice and Smoothie King and how those things are expanding. And then what else we got here in Baltimore that's doing this thing and what my store would be like in comparison to those stores and stuff like that. So it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. And yeah, man, I was
And,
so excited. Like it was a big deal.
and you got a good location in Mount Vernon because
Yeah.
that
So like,
that's like prime real estate, honestly.
thank you. Yeah, let me tell you the story about that. Right. So what I did was I studied the type of juice bar, and then
Mm-hmm.
you always have to reverse engineer these types of things and figure out how much it's going to cost to do something, and then how you can get to that amount. So you
Gotcha.
find a location, and it costs this amount. So is that location worth the amount it costs? Is it going to bring that many customers in? You can't pick
Mm-hmm.
a poor location. So I looked at all the spots that was close to gyms and gyms and yoga studios because I figured like they would be my target market.
Right.
And then I tried to figure out how close would I be to the next good juice bar, like because it's some that's not all that good, but some that are really good. Like the most popular one in Baltimore is Pure Raw. You guys probably been there or heard of it before.
I heard of it.
But yeah, so I was like, all right, because Pure Raw just started expanding like crazy. They must have got some investors, money started flowing. So they got
Mm-hmm.
like 6 locations now. But anyway, I was like, all right, well, where's Pure Raw? And then there's another juice bar that I like a lot. And I was like, well, where are they located? So I was looking and I was like, all right, I don't want to be like within a mile of these places because
Mm-hmm.
we might break apart. I mean, I can't be, I'm the new kid on the block and I can't beat them at certain stuff yet. So it's going to cost
Mm-hmm.
me more and not take away enough of their customer base. And I ain't really competing that way. I'm really trying to grow my own thing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're still competing for dollars. So what I did was I pinpointed all these things on the map. Like I literally printed out the map, highlighted everything. And here go some gems. here go the streets, here go. And then once I figured out some pockets where I could be located, I had to go through, like, I don't even remember how I found these links, but you can get the population of a neighborhood in the city, right? Some of these places, some of these sites you got to pay for, but I mean, that's the thing people don't understand, like with business, you invest from the jump. It ain't just like investing in materials. You got to invest in research. You might have to invest in a team or some professional help, some consulting, mentoring, and stuff like that. So I had to pay for this site, and that's like I could see exactly about how many people live in Mount Vernon, what the average cost of income is, and stuff like that. What types of people their age are, so you got a lot of people that's like single, or you got like families and stuff, and like people that's maybe in families, they may not be my market. Only the moms would be, because they're like raising their children and they need like something fast and healthy, right? But depending on where you're located, you don't really want to be. I don't want to be in a neighborhood where people don't make a certain amount of money because cold pressed juice is expensive. But then I don't want to be in a neighborhood where like people on a fixed income, but like older people who are on a fixed income, they're not going to spend their money on that. So I got to be somewhere where there's enough people that's going to spend money with me. So Mount Vernon was a place that worked. Now, where I was driving down the street, I found some retail spots in Mount Vernon because Red Maple was right there. And I spent like 6 years of my life in Mount Vernon every week. You know what I'm saying? So I know Mount Vernon like the back of my hand. So I'm like, all right, cool. Here were some locations. Boom. I go visit the spot. The place was nice. It used to be a hair salon. It had 2 levels. I was like, that give me a nice little. That's nice to see. Like it's 2 levels. The downstairs level had a low ceiling, but whatever. We can make that work. So I leave there, and it's a bunch of one-way streets. So I had to go down Charles Street and run down Charles Street right there. Where at the time Pet Value was right there, and Subway and all that. And the realtor thing was in the window, but I was like, man, I can't really afford this block. This is like this Charles Street, right? This Charles Street right by Starbucks and all that. I can't really afford this block. But I'm here. I done wrote this business plan. I got this far. Why would I limit myself? So I pick up the phone and call them. I'm telling you, honest to goodness truth. I call them. I tell them hey, I'm interested in checking out the place. This is what I'm doing. And they said, well, we're looking for, it used to be a bakery or a cake shop, rather. They said, we're looking for another bakery, a pizzeria, or a juice bar. And we can't put a pizzeria in here because, it's apartments in that building right there. Because we can't put one of those, the brick oven exhaust things. Yeah, they can't put that in there. I was like, yo, you got your juice bar right here. I see y'all on Tuesday. So they come there. I get in there. I talk to them. And I was like, once they told me the price, I was like, I'm going to make it work. It wasn't, honestly, it's not more, it's not, it's a fair price. Like I said, you got to figure out if that neighborhood is going to bring back the money, if that location can bring back the money. So I was like, all right. And then you got to reverse engineer from there. If I know my rent costs this much, now I start adding on rent, gas and electric, cable, Wi-Fi, everything else that go along with it. Then I know how much it's going to cost to get this and the third. I was like, yo, can you make it work? All right, now plug it into the business plan. Writing business plans, especially for a retail space, is kind of tough because you can't get a loan unless you got a lease. You can't get a lease unless you got money. So, it's a lot of things a lot of moving parts or whatever you got to put into place. But it all worked out. Worked hard at it, and I started hitting up my friends that could help me, do some things. Like my homegirl Kiana, she helped me design, do interior design and stuff like that. So that was cool. I reached out. I found like a Black architect to help me do the floor plan. So like that was cool. I found him on Google. I just looked it up and called, and like, my man, come on down, yo. So at this time, I got approved for a loan. The budget open. What it cost? How much it cost, player? All right, I ain't even had, I believe in paying professionals to do what they do, and I don't need a hooker. I don't know him, but I'd rather pay him, than anybody else. And he came through real professional, and he's really good at what he do. So that was fun. I called my cousin. My cousin is a contractor and painter, so he helped me paint. Save some money. Got some other contractors from him. I called my other homie. He has a delivery business, so I had him help me pick up things like wood and countertops and stuff like that. So I just reached out to everybody I could that I knew to, work with them in their business, and then I got a mentor. I got a consultant to help me because I don't know. This is my first time owning like a whole business and storefront and stuff like that. And being this deep in the restaurant game, like I only had worked at one food service place ever before, and that was like my first job out of high school, and that ain't last that long. So I needed help figuring out food service. I still need help figuring out food service for real. But um, yeah, like he helped me lay out the place, and then I've been always just taking courses and learning with him and learning how to manage staff, how to manage the books, how to improve my marketing and branding, and how to build out a product line and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's been real. It's been real. And then you still got to stick with your messaging, because what's the reason why I even started this business?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you go on the website, it's goodpart.co. If you go on the website, you'll see where it says like the vision, the beliefs, and the mission. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I did that, because I studied marketing a lot. It's a guy named Seth Godin. I've been following Seth for years. I'm on his email list, but he's an author. He just does like a lot of marketing stuff, and he talks a lot about like what marketing is and just doing the work it takes to change the world one
Mm-hmm.
little bit at a time. And I'm a patient person, and I don't mind making my change one little bit at a time. But the vision is there because that's like the overall vision for people, like what our role is in our overall vision, which is to help people just like improve their quality of life, starting with the inside out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you gotta feel good inside, do good inside before you can do good outside. Um, so that's the vision, and then the belief is that you can achieve that through a plant based diet, because a plant based diet optimizes your body to function at a higher level for a longer time, right? That's what I can attest to. That's what I believe in. You're not a bad guy if you don't eat a plant based diet, but if you want some help, you come over here. We can help you out with that. You know what I mean? So that's the belief.
Gotcha.
But the mission is not the same as the vision and the beliefs. The mission, the mission is the one little piece at a time. Like you gotta break the people down, make them believe, help them understand what the healthy stuff is, help
Mm-hmm.
them believe in what the healthy stuff does, because it's a lot of misinformation in our community specifically, and then lack of resources. So if they don't have an opportunity to even go and buy healthy food, or know what it look like, or understand why supermarkets put all of the fresh cold stuff on the outside of the market, then once you get in, everything is processed in boxes and stuff like that. It's sold that way on purpose. Why they can put grapes on the ends, on the bookends of the shelves and stuff like that, right? But they don't. They put whatever candy and stuff like that on there. But it's that's a part of merchandising. That's good business to be on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know, you don't know.
Right. I want to jump in real quick. Who would you
Yeah,
say
yeah.
was like as far like strong? Did you have any strong male figures in your life to kind of, because you seem like you like a self motivator, like you kind of get stuff done. Like if you got an
Yeah,
idea, you just do it.
I'm a very internally motivated person. So I think most of my influence comes from a distance. People I see have done what I want to do, and I just
Mm,
take it from them. But I do have a lot of uncles, right? So I got a lot of aunts and uncles, but all of my uncles are married, so I know what family values look like.
mm,
Only one was an entrepreneur. Like he used to work in clubs, funny enough, and he took me to my first rap concert. Like when I was real young, I got to go see like the Run DMC, LL
mm.
Cool J when Run held the Adidas up. I knew I seen that, but I didn't know what was going on because I could barely even fit shell toes at the time. But I was there at that show. Like my uncle took me to see that type of stuff. But my high school basketball coach, he helped really instill a lot of discipline in me and a lot of my
Mm,
homies. He had a lot of funny sayings and stuff. He was real. He was young. He was close to our age, so he talked to us like we used to hearing things. So
mm.
I mean, I gotta give it up to him. My dad was just like real kind of cool, but to be honest, he didn't have a whole lot of influence in how I do things now.
Gotcha.
So yeah. But I appreciate that question though, because sometimes I do try to think about like who am I doing this like? Because sometimes you can get lost if you need guidance.
Mm,
Black men need guidance, and it's really good if it comes from other black men who have things. So, I just try to pay attention to a lot of other men who have things going on that I would like to have going on.
that's
Yeah. You talked about the landscape of the city, and I guess the stigmas and the views that people have on it, as far as being in safe places and other things like that. You know, um, Having this business and going where you're going, how much of that, um, and not on the marketing sense, but just in association of having a black owned business, how much of that stigma or anything did you ever face when thinking in any of your business ventures?
I'm gonna give you. I got a perfect example for that. If you come to Good Part and Company, right, on the outside windows, it's a sign that says Black owned, right? I put that sticker there, but that played a big part in the stigma because I opened in the middle of the pandemic. Nobody saw that coming, so that made it, that changed a lot of things. But it was right, the pandemic hit, and then all of the uprisings started too, right, from all of the civil unrest and prejudice and police brutality against us. So I was like, do I even want to put this? Do I seem like because I'm in Mount Vernon, we know it's a pretty liberal neighborhood, but we see all of these businesses, big corporations, Nike and whoever else, Balenciaga, people like, the whole thing with Gucci and Dapper Dan, all these things was going on. So all these businesses was making moves to pander to Black people. So I didn't know if I wanted to put that in my window, right? Because the stigma of a business, because the way my business is set up, a lot of people don't think it's an independent business. They think it's a part of another business. They think it's a franchise. Only because like this not a vanity project. I really care about people getting healthy and they trust clean looking brands. But I put that Black owned sticker there anyway because it's ours. You know what I mean? It's not mine, it's ours. It's a Black owned business, like, so we gonna roll with it. And that's the stigma we gonna have it. Either you like it or you don't, but we gonna rock with it. And that was a part of it. I was like, you know what? I think it's more important for people to know that there's a Black owned business standing behind and standing on this health thing. And that was a stigma I had to get over, because that's not necessarily that's not cool for us. Like, we don't really approaching not Black men. You see Black men in fitness, which is great, but you don't really see them in like nutrition and stuff like that. So I didn't know, like, that ain't really feel like the move, but I'm glad I did it. And that's a stigma. Like, I had to kind of convince myself, like, yo, it's okay and cool to be the healthy Black guy talking about this type of stuff or selling this type of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the other stigmas, I don't really know. That probably is something that other people may have. They may feel a certain type of way about, well, the whole plant-based thing, there's a lot of stigma around that. And that's part of the mission, to remove the stigma of what healthy is and stuff like that from a lot of people. So that's a big one, yo. Like, healthy is different for everybody. But there is, my belief, there is a baseline for healthy. I don't care where you think you at. You might got to do a little bit more, or you are okay, but everybody kind of defines it different for themselves because they want to feel better. They want to make themselves feel better and easy and not feel guilty about where they are. But sometimes you just got to do better, right? And I mean, that includes me too. I'm not above any of this. But that's a stigma. Like, yo, what is this plant-based? What's this vegan stuff? People think that vegans are like vegan Nazis and you're the worst person in the world if you're not vegan and stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't move that way. You, like I said, you're not a bad guy if you eat meat, but I got other options for you if you decide that you want to try other options. So that's a big stigma, because then people think, like, where do you get your protein from? All the vegan food I ever have tastes nasty. Luckily, a lot of things are being, the taste profile is better now, then, like, all right, well, what's up with the Impossible burgers? Is it real? What's up with all the soy not good for you? So that's why I'm not eating vegan. So so the stigma is not eating soy because soy not good for me, but you'll still eat at McDonald's. I'm not understanding, right? I don't know. I don't get that. Like, you can drink a shot of Hennessy, but you won't drink a ginger shot. And Hennessy costs 3 times as much as a ginger shot. So these are the stigmas people got to get. They don't understand what healthy is. And they say health food costs too much. No, my man. A doctor bill costs too much. That's what I really be trying to get to people without saying it like how I'm saying it. I feel like I can talk like this to you guys because, y'all look like me. Y'all feel like the homies. But, I don't talk like that when I'm in the shop or talking to a new client and stuff when I was doing nutritional counseling. But that's a stigma. Those are some of the stigmas, man.
You definitely have a wealth of knowledge, just kind of coming from the different expertise, and just kind of how I see it all. It's all coming together for you at this point, and how it balances each other out and kind of helps you kind of build a, not just a juice bar, but a brand. And I think that's big in this day and age, because brand awareness, we are familiar with those things, those consistent things like Apple or Nike, based off of their brand. I don't really see Nike having like their commercials. They don't ask you to buy nothing. They just show people running around and just say, just do it. But you know, but you already know what it is. So I think you're well on your way, just kind of building that brand and just kind of that identity that's going to stand out and say, all right, this is my company. And when you start franchising and kind of moving all across the United States and the world, you know, it's going to be even bigger. So definitely, I applaud you for that. And I'm glad you were able to consent to come on, just kind of share your story. Have you ever thought about like doing like seminars for business, like business owners and things like that? I think that's something that you might want to consider because you got the wealth of knowledge to kind of share.
I haven't, but you're the second person to ask within like a short amount of time. Only because like I'm still working on other businesses, so
got you.
I want to be really proficient in that because so where we come from, stigma. When you want to get a black man, you gotta show him the money, yo. Like remember when they was doing like the pyramid schemes or whatever, like when real estate classes first started, and I was like, well, or stocks, like we don't know a lot about the stock market. So when somebody was talking to me about it, I'd be like, yo, how do you make money on stocks? And they can't tell me how I make money. We know stocks is a long-term play, but they never speak on like what options are, right? But you gotta show me the money. Like, yo, well, let me see your check. Or if you're gonna if I'm gonna make that much money, won't you put my money up for me and I give it back to you when I make the money back? Right. So I feel like if I'm gonna do business consulting of any sort, I need to really be able to show people the money. And I'm still in my first year, right? To be honest, I am expanding, the business is growing, but it's still going through a lot of shortcomings, a lot of peaks and valleys and stuff. And until I can work out those types of things, and I know what some things I need to learn before I can actually teach it, right? So for right now, you know, I can just talk like this, you know, with you guys. But if anybody want coaching on nutrition, that is something I could probably do. I would speak to at a seminar or something like that.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm definitely going to check it out. You know, especially being in that area, I think it's perfect. You know, being the train close, and you know, UB and the expansion that they've done over there. So I think that's a perfect location.
Let me tell you, I was plotting. I was like this coming down. Like, oh, we about to open up, about to get the cafe vibes popping. Pandemic hit. No UB, no Micah, nobody at Penn Station. I'm like, dang, it's killing me. Like it really, it was killing me, man. I was in the back of the shop just sitting on my laptop, like, because it's not a thing I can control, but it is. There's still money to be made, and I was still holding myself to the standard of whatever it was I thought I was supposed to be making in the beginning, even though I was way off course with how expenses had to go. I opened up way late, so I was supposed to open up around, well, in April. So March, that's when everything started happening, and the world started shutting down. But we were still doing renovation, so that was okay, right? I was gonna make it through, and then I was going to open around April. I ain't open till September. Wow. So that's May, June, July, whatever. That's like 4, 5, 6 months, not making any money, not making any income. And I mean, I'm grateful that, you know, my landlord and stuff like that, they did what the rest of the world was doing. Like, yo, you don't have to pay your rent right now, whatever, until I open up. And then but they would follow up even with the banks and stuff. They call like, yo, you know, what y'all gonna do? What you think we gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't got no money coming in either. So that was kind of stressful. You know, they on my back. I'm trying to learn how to run a business, and I still got to get customers to believe that they should come spend money. They can't come in. I spent all this time renovating the joint. Y'all see how hype I just got talking about building out my own world. Now I got my own world. Can't nobody come in. I'm like, I got curbside this joint. I'm like, man, I don't know what. I ain't getting no time in learning how to use my equipment like that, other than the juice machine. So I'm not learning from customers what they want, what they don't like. I don't know how to do any of the processes because I can't have customers. I don't have customers in the store, and I ain't making no money. So like that really killed me. But I made it a year, yo. I made it a year, and now the world opened back up more. So half of the campus is kind of back. They go to class sometimes, like a few days a week at University of Baltimore and Micah and stuff like that. But you know, traffic is picking up because you know it's a lot of foot traffic down there. That's why, you know, we picked that location. That's why I went with it. So yeah, but I'm gonna tell you one thing though. People do show love, and like you said, you seen it come through somebody else's page. So, like I said, I put that black owned sign right there, and people either come down there, which I really appreciate, because ain't no parking on Charles Street in Mount Vernon. People come all the way down there. Yeah, people, right. People come all the way down there and support and show love. So like, I really appreciate that. I caught people walking, like, cause I'm right across the street from the Smoothie King. Like I said, I don't care who I'm competing with. We just gonna do it anyway. People was going to Smoothie King and saw the black owned sign. Yo, like one day I was in the shop early, right? I ain't even had no staff. It was just me. I'm in there sitting at the cash register. I look out the window, see this black car pull up across the street. The guy get out and he pull up in front of the Smoothie King. I don't know that he going there, but I'm just watching because I ain't got nothing else to do. I ain't making no money. I'm just sitting in the joint. I look at the black car. I go back, look at my laptop, look at the black car, and I can't tell if he got out because he had the tents on it. So he walked to Smoothie King, then he was out of my sight. And I looked down and look up again. He was coming in the store. And he was like, yo, I seen the black owned sign right there. And I was about to go on Smoothie King, but I realized that that's what you got going on. Man, I appreciate that. And he's not the only person that's done that. It's been quite a few people that see it and notice it because of how foot traffic is down there. And they'll stop and come in. And I just like really, really appreciate that, man, because that's what we here for. And that wasn't a gimmick. It wasn't to get people to come because it's black owned. It's to signal them and let them know if that's the kick you on, like we right here for you. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, that mean a lot, man.
So, man, we definitely appreciate you taking time out of your schedule today. Just kind of hop on here with us. Just kind of share your story. And I truly appreciate it. I'm pretty sure somebody.
I'm sorry if I talk too much too. My bad.
Oh no, you good. You just made our job easier. That's all. No, but I think people need to hear the whole story, and I think the way you painted it, kind of helps them get a good picture of how you got to where you are, and like how you're still learning. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. People they get out here, they want to start businesses quick. They want things to turn over quickly, but it's not going to work like that. You got to be patient, and you got to be willing to fail. I think that's the biggest. Honestly, that's probably one of the. If you can learn anything, learn how to fail successfully.
Yeah, man. Yep,
and just kind of learn.
That's what they say.
Learn from each experience, and I think you've been able to do that. Through your experiences. Just kind of learning how to, and some of them might not have been a failure. It's just might have, like you said, different directions, like you in a different season, and just kind of learning when to move in and out the season is pivotal. And just kind of, now you got your own thing, you running it. You say you got a year in now.
Yep.
Year in now. So, man,
it's surviving too, and just and the other thing is Baltimore is such a word of mouth place, so just. Coming on here and giving us the process, now we could reach out and, tell the professional groups and the other, groups that are doing things at black owned places specifically to come down and show love, so it is definitely enlightening and exciting for me because, I needed to know.
Cool. I appreciate you guys for having me, man. And like, that's the power of the internet, you guys
absolutely.
Like it, somebody post it, right? And then you hit me up and I DM'd you guys back to say thanks for just following the page. And, come through the shop if you have a chance. And then you hit me back, and now we emailing, and here we are. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. So once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you all for joining us for Unapologetically Black Male, where we talk about surviving the stigma, standards, and systems. Listen, make sure you go check out our brothers, Good Part and Company. Can you give us the address real quick, Quintel?
Yeah, sure. It's 1216 North Charles Street, right next to Aloha.
All right. And Baltimore, Maryland, for those who may not be watching in Baltimore. So, but when you come to Baltimore, make sure you check it out. So thank you all again for joining us. Make sure you like, comment, follow, share. Make sure you visit the place, buy some merchandise, buy some juice, learn about this healthy lifestyle because it's going to help you live longer. So make sure that you continue to support. And once again, thank you for supporting us. I hope you have a great day, and we look forward to meeting with you next week.